New York, we here.
What is up, everybody? I literally just minutes ago finished the latest episode, which, I'll probably post these on the same day or maybe a day apart. I just finished an episode talking about the current Knicks, portrayal in the media. Obviously, with the horrendous rookie face scans, Trae Young at the Garden. But today, I really just wanted to talk about one subject that's been going through everybody's mind: the Dallas Knicks. The news was just announced, I believe, yesterday that Frank Ntilikina is likely to sign a deal with the Dallas Mavericks, which will now bring Porzingis, Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, and Frank Ntilikina all under head coach Jason Kidd, thus making them the Dallas Knicks. I think this is very interesting. You know, I really think it's going to be fun to watch how they're all going to, coexist. I know that many of them, I'll put the image back up again, you know, Porzingis has chemistry with Tim Hardaway Jr., with Trey Burke. So, it's going to be really fun and exciting to see how, Frank can fit into the system under Luka Doncic. Um, and how Jason Kidd can really give each guy a shot on the roster. Will Trey Burke kind of play like he did with us, where some games he absolutely went off, and I really wish we kind of could see more usage. Could have seen more usage out of him, even though we did kind of have an up and down kind of streak as a player, at least while he was on our team. But it's going to be really interesting to see if Porzingis is going to now get better on Dallas, because obviously he's had a tough time with injuries and so on and so forth. So it's going to be interesting to see that with the newest additions, with Bullock, with Frank, under a new head coach, will Porzingis' chemistry rise because all of these former Knicks are coming into the picture here, or will, the same things end up happening? But, in terms of Porzingis, I always love to use this chart because, it really just breaks down, how we kind of got to where we are and so on. So, obviously up top we have, what we traded away, DSJ, you know, DeAndre Jordan. Um, I'm literally having a very hard time seeing it here on my end. But it's really interesting. The one question that leaves, me kind of scratching my head here, which I actually talked with my dad today as well. What is Mark Cuban's agenda? You know, I mean, it's kind of like LeBron's power in the sense of he can get whoever he wants, right? Now, if his agenda is to get a lot of Knicks players, he's doing it great, obviously, as we see here. Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke, Reggie Bullock, Frank Ntilikina, and Porzingis. Now, if Mark Cuban's agenda, like I said earlier, obviously, if he's getting more Knicks players, okay. But is it like going to end up being like, the Lakers, where you're just assembling as much talent as you can to really make that next step, to win a championship? If we look at the Lakers, They got Dwight Howard back. They got Carmelo, Malik Monk, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. You know, they're adding so many guys just to win a championship. Um, I'm not saying the Mavericks are getting Frank Ntilikina and Reggie Bullock to win a championship. Um, but Reggie Bullock made comments, really early on, this offseason when he, made his intentions to go with Dallas, saying things like it was a no-brainer of a decision. He feels like the Knicks are currently in a state where they're really just a first-round team, and the Mavericks can really make that next step, to win a championship. Um, so it'll be really interesting because maybe Mark Cuban is stealing a little from our book and kind of going with that young core option. But it really doesn't seem that way because we have so many guys that are 23 or younger, like Mitchell Robinson, like McGrimes. I said McGrimes. What? McBride, Grimes, RJ. The list goes on and on. But it's going to be very, I keep saying interesting because that's really the only one of the only words that's really coming to my mind here. Um, it's just, especially from Reggie Bullock's responses. I know that, obviously I posted them out of context to get the reaction, but apparently, he was, praising the Knicks a lot for everything that, happened during his time there and stuff. But if he's saying that this team is a no-brainer from the team that we have right now, I don't know. It just seems iffy to me. And it also leaves me wondering how much of a chance is Jason Kidd going to give Frank Ntilikina, of usage, Bullock of usage? Because Tim Hardaway Jr. has had a lot of usage in Dallas. Porzingis, obviously. Doncic, obviously. Um, I don't really think Trey Burke has had that much usage on Dallas. Um, you know, Comparing to the usage that he had while he was on the Knicks. And, it's just interesting, Cuban was in his position now on Dallas when he had Jason Kidd as a player on Dallas, when he had Tyson Chandler as a player on Dallas, so that was in 2011 when they won the championship. So, has his agenda now been for the past 10 years to get Knicks players to take that next step to a championship? I don't know, but it's looking a lot like Phil Jackson's team, from when he had his little moment of time here on the Knicks, um, which was just, I'm sure I can make a whole episode of my thoughts on the Phil Jackson era and the Steve Mills era, the Fizdale era. I could make episodes galore on what I think these teams could have been with, what moves that I could have made. Oh, that's a great series that I just thought of. Knicks communities, GM takes or something where I could, talk about old teams and the moves I would make instead of the moves that ended up happening. Oh, guys, I have content cooking for you very soon. I'm going to make a ton of episodes about that. But, it's just going to be, really exciting to see is Frank and Trey Burke really going to get usage if they have guys like Doncic over them? I don't really know. Obviously everybody crazy. Um, so it's no idea. On my cameras going in and out, I think just because of the service that I have here in Ohio, I said that in the last episode that, these two episodes could either come out really bad or really good just because of the Wi-Fi service that we have here. Um, but, obviously due to college chores and stuff, like I've said on Die Hard Next podcast. Um, so words, but it's just really, is he trying to make a super team to win a championship of Reggie Bullock, Frank Ntilikina, Trey Burke? And again, adding to my conspiracy theory of a super team, Jason Kidd is the head coach. What happened when Jason Kidd was a player on Dallas with Tyson Chandler, two former Knicks? They won a championship against the LeBron Miami Heat. Um, so is that the agenda? I have no idea, but it's gonna be great to see Frank as a Maverick, um, you know, coming back to the Garden. Um, so I can't wait. Is he going to get booed? Is he going to get cheered? He's been through a lot of ups and downs with the New York fans. Um, obviously he got cooked at the end of game one by Trae Young. I was at that game. I was also at the game where we people wanted, uh, we're chanting "We want Frank" over Dennis Smith Jr. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Dallas crowd likes Frank. To see how the Knicks fans like Frank when he's back playing against the Knicks at the Garden. Um, but I believe I covered everything that is currently, you know, with news breaking on this topic. I hope you guys liked my little spiel of conspiracy theories on if I think this is Mark Cuban's plan to winning another NBA championship. Um, I hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna be, trying my best to do, weekly content. Um, it's just a little bit of a hectic time right now with applying to colleges, but I'm trying to make it work. Sorry if this episode turns out really bad. Again, we're in Ohio at hotels, and I don't know how good the service is here, but I hope you guys really like this episode. I'm really interested in the idea of me dissecting the moves that, you know, people like Steve Mills and Scott Perry made, during the Fizdale era and stuff, and maybe to see what I would do differently. That's a concept that I definitely could see myself, making for sure. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to get my overlay back up top. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Knicks Community. I'm still trying to get the, fingers pointed at the right spots. Of course, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Um, you know, Let me know on Instagram or in the comments, if you guys are really interested in that, kind of, I guess, GM Knicks community series. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching.